My name is Angie Smith. I'm 36 years old, and I've spent most of my adult life playing other people on stage, women with perfect timing, perfect lines, and perfect endings. Real life doesn't follow scripts. Real life sends you a text at 11 p.m., telling you to stay away from a wedding you've been quietly paying for. I'm a stage actress in a small city theater, the kind where the curtain smells like dust and old hairspray, and the seats creak like they're whispering gossip. Between shows, I do commercials when I can and voiceovers for toothpaste ads that run at 2 a.m. My boyfriend, Jacob, works long shifts as an emergency response trainer. Our triplets, Eva, Nico, and Gia, are 6, loud, and the universe's favorite chaos gremlins. Our apartment has finger paint on the hallway walls and tape on the couch where Gia once said she was building a boat for a princess who needs to escape. I still don't know which princess. In my family, I've always been the useful one, the talker, the fixer, the one who can charm a discount, negotiate a deposit, host, and lend just until Friday. My younger sister, Bianca, is the golden child. She's 32, has that kind of hair that never frizzes, and a marketing job she treats like she's the CEO of aesthetics. Her fiancé, Marco, calls his cufflinks statement pieces. My mom calls Bianca her star. When she calls me a star, she adds, "But in your own way, sweetie, like a patch that mends something." It was a Wednesday, nearly 11 p.m., and I was backstage between a matinee and an evening show, eating a banana with half my stage makeup still on. The hallway smelled like burnt coffee from the stage manager's mug. Actors recited lines in the wings. Someone practiced a fake cry in the next room. Ordinary theater chaos. Then my phone buzzed. The family group chat, La Familia. Bianca set the name years ago, along with a stock photo of spaghetti. No one had cared enough to change it. Dad, stay away from the wedding. All caps. No hello, no explanation. 2 bubbles appeared. Immediately. Bianca, LOL. Then, seriously, Angie, it's an adults-only event. The whole family is tired of you and your kids. She spelled your correctly. Bianca always spells correctly when she's being cruel. The phone felt hot in my hand. I stared at the messages. I felt something in my stomach drop, heavy and sour. Then Marco jumped in. It's not personal, it's branding. Branding. Like my children are mismatched background props ruining the vibe of their wedding photos. Mom chimed in next, her tone pretending to be calm. Angie, honey, let's not make drama. We just want a tasteful day. No kids, no chaos. My kids? Chaos? They spill juice sometimes. They tell jokes with no punchlines. They call every black car a limo. They wear superhero capes to the grocery store. But chaos? No. Chaos is being told you're not welcome at your own sister's wedding, a wedding you've been funding piece by piece without complaint. My thumbs hovered over the screen. I typed, "Then I'll stop funding the marriage." It looked strange, seeing the sentence written out. True, but strange. I didn't send it. I put the phone face down, heart tight in my throat. The stage manager tapped the doorframe. 5 minutes. I slid my phone into my pocket, walked to stage left, and took my mark. Lights up. Applause. I delivered my first line on muscle memory, but in my head, it was just Dad's message. Stay away from the wedding. Like I'm an embarrassment. Like my kids are a stain on their perfect beige aesthetic. When the act ended, I rushed back to the dressing room, checked my phone, and found more messages waiting like bad reviews. Mom, Angie, darling, don't escalate. We want a peaceful day. Bianca, maybe you can come to the reception if you promise to keep your triplets off the dance floor. They're unpredictable. Unpredictable? They're 6. They dance like lightning bugs. Marco, Angie, it's not personal. It's branding. He added a sparkle emoji. I typed, "This is family, not content," then deleted it. I didn't trust myself to send anything. Not yet. Not while shaking. Not while wearing stage eyeliner that would only make me look like a tragic clown if I cried. I went on autopilot for the rest of the evening show. My smile felt like something stapled on. The applause sounded far away. On the bus home, I watched 3 teenagers share earbuds and laugh about something meaningless. And a thought cut through me, sharp as glass. Every not personal thing is always personal. When I walked into the apartment, the triplets were asleep in a tangled pile, like a spilled basket of laundry and limbs. Jacob was at the table still in his work uniform, eating cold pasta straight from the container. They said no kids, I whispered. He didn't flinch. Of course they did. What now? I don't know, I said. But I think My voice cracked. I think I'm done being their quiet sponsor. He nodded, not surprised, not angry, just relieved for me. I looked at my phone again. Dad's message stared back at me like a warning sign. And that was when it hit me. You don't get a message like "stay away from the wedding" out of nowhere. You walk toward it for years. Across small stones. Across quiet sacrifices. Across just for now, just this once, and you're the responsible one. And suddenly, without realizing it, you're the family's foundation until they decide they don't need you, except for your credit card. That night, as Jacob washed his fork and the apartment settled in its soft hum, I stared at the auto-pay list on my phone. Venue balance, phone plan, Spotify, insurance, cake deposit, random Canva subscription. Bianca swore she'd cancel. Dad's gym membership. A quiet thought pulsed through me. Small but electric. A thought I wasn't ready to act on. Yet. I don't have to fund disrespect to count as family. For 3 days, I told myself I wouldn't make any sudden moves. Boundaries, according to my therapist, should be thoughtful, measured, not impulsive. But by Friday morning, the day the venue planned to charge my card, I woke up with that same thought pulsing behind my ribs. I don't have to fund disrespect. Jacob left early for work. The triplets crawled into my bed one by one, a tangle of messy curls, morning breath, and mismatched pajamas. I held them close, inhaling the smell of syrup and crayons that always clung to them. They didn't know. They didn't know their aunt didn't want them. Didn't know their grandmother had called them chaos. Didn't know I was being quietly erased from a wedding I'd been bankrolling since before Marco even proposed. "Mommy," Eva murmured. She calls me Mommy when she's half asleep. "Are we going to Auntie Bianca's big party?" My chest tightened. "We'll see, sweetheart," I said softly. A lie that tasted like dust. The rehearsal dinner. The invitation arrived with a dress code, earth tone elegance. Bianca's aesthetic obsession had graduated from beige mood boards to full-blown personal dictatorship. Jacob, being the kind of man who tries for me even when he doesn't understand my family, put on a brown button-up. I wore a cinnamon-colored dress that made me feel like a background extra in a coffee commercial. At the venue entrance, a waiter offered us Prosecco. Mom hugged me like she'd already forgiven me for something I hadn't done. Dad shook Jacob's hand but didn't meet my eyes. Bianca floated toward me, all tan silk and rehearsed superiority. "Angie!" She air-kissed near my cheek. "So glad you made it. Try not to stress tonight, okay? You look tired." Jacob stiffened beside me. Before I could respond, Bianca clapped loudly, stealing the room's attention the way she always had. "Before dinner," she said into a mic. Yes, a mic. "I just want to thank family for stepping up. And a special thanks to my amazing big sister Angie." She paused for effect. "For emceeing the reception. We love your theater voice." Applause filled the room. Jacob whispered, "Did you agree to that?" "No," I whispered back. "I wasn't even asked." Bianca beamed at me like she'd given me a gift. A spotlight I never asked for. A role I didn't audition for. The card. Halfway through appetizers, the venue manager tapped my shoulder. "Hi, Ms. Smith. Just confirming. The card on file for tomorrow's balance is still your visa ending in 2033, correct? We'll run it at noon. Total is $1,600, plus service." He said it casually, like announcing the weather. I blinked. My throat clenched. Jacob's hand closed around mine. Warm. Grounding. "I didn't authorize that," I said. "You paid the deposit, so we assumed—" "You assumed wrong." Before he could respond, Bianca swooped in. "Angie, don't embarrass us. It's just a temporary hold. We'll move money tomorrow. You have better points anyway." "Points." I stared at her. "Bianca," I said, voice low, "am I your sister or your credit card?" She rolled her eyes. "Don't be dramatic." Dramatic. As if that wasn't literally my profession. The bathroom. I walked away before I exploded. Locked myself in a stall. Sat on the closed lid and stared at the floor tiles. I could hear muffled laughter through the vent. Clinking glassware. The kind of fancy noise people make when they believe their lives are curated. My phone buzzed. "Jacob, you okay?" I typed back, "No." He replied 2 seconds later, "Then leave." The boundary. I stood up, looked at myself in the mirror. Brown dress, smudged eyeliner, tired eyes. I didn't look like myself. I looked like someone's doormat, ironed flat. Not anymore. I walked straight to the front desk. "Remove my card from the account," I said. The manager blinked. "Are you?" "Yes." His fingers clicked across the keyboard. "Delete, delete, delete." Tiny sounds, massive consequences. I felt something lift off my chest. The public break. Bianca approached just as the manager walked away. "What did you do?" she hissed. "I took my card off your wedding," I said. "Also, I'm not emceeing." Heads turned, music thinned into awkwardness. Mom stood furious. "Angie, not tonight." "Exactly," I said. "Tonight, before the bill hits tomorrow." Dad glared like I'd broken some ancient family code. "You agreed to help." "No," I answered calmly. "You assigned me to help." Bianca's face flushed pink. "You're ruining my vibe." "Your vibe," I said, "is expensive, and it's paid for with my kids' shoes." Marco tried to jump in with a half joke. "Come on, Angie, don't make me call security." "This isn't a nightclub," I said, "and I'm not your bro." Silence cracked through the room. Jacob stepped beside me, steady, quiet support. Mom pinned me with a look she'd used since childhood. "If you walk out now, do not come to the wedding." My heart pounded, not with fear, but with clarity. I nodded. "Then I won't." And we left. The digital explosion. In the car, I opened my banking app. The list of autopays glared back at me like a confession. Family phone plan. Spotify, Canva, insurance. Dad's gym. Cake, balance. Venue, balance. One by one, I paused and deleted them. 10 minutes. Dozens of boundaries made. My hands didn't shake. Jacob watched me with quiet pride. When I finished, notifications erupted. "Dad, is your card declining?" "Mom, what is happening, Angela?" "Bianca, are you serious?" "Bianca." I put the phone face down. Jacob started the car. I exhaled for the first time all night. "I'm done," I whispered. "Good," he said. "I've been waiting for you to say that." The next morning, the official wedding day, I woke up before the triplets. Sunlight cut through the blinds in soft stripes. For the first time in years, I didn't feel dread on a Saturday. There was no venue charging my card, no cake balance haunting my inbox, no obligation hanging over me like a stage light waiting to fall. Just quiet. Jacob rolled over and kissed my shoulder. "You sure you're okay skipping it?" "I'm not skipping," I murmured. "I was uninvited." He nodded, satisfied I wasn't talking myself back into martyrdom, a rare moment of peace. Then Gia stormed into the room wearing her red superhero cape. "Is today the fancy party?" Jacob and I shared a look. "No," I said gently. "Today's our party." Our party. We packed grapes, sandwiches, a soccer ball, and all 3 capes. We drove to a small park with cracked pavement and a basketball hoop that leaned like it had bad posture. The kids ran immediately, 3 streaks of color against the green. Jacob set up a little Bluetooth speaker, and our playlist, Household Bops, filled the air. While the wedding I had funded for 2 years unfolded somewhere in a manicured beige venue. I watched my kids dance in the sunlight. I watched Jacob spin Gia around until she shrieked. I took photos of Nico pretending the soccer ball was a meteor that only he could save Earth from. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't curated, it wasn't tasteful, but it was ours, pure and chaotic and alive. At noon, my phone buzzed. I flipped it face up out of morbid curiosity. "Dad, where are you? Bianca is furious." "Mom, the photographer is leaving early because we're behind schedule." "Bianca, the cake is late. Fix this." Then another one. "Bianca, I hate you." I muted the chat and tossed the phone into the picnic bag. Eva tugged my hand. "Mommy, come dance." So I did. In the middle of a cracked basketball court, with a stranger's dog joining us like we were the best part of its day. The meltdown, not mine. Around 3 p.m., my cousin sent a photo from the wedding. Bianca looked stunning. Tan satin, perfect curls, flawless makeup. Marco looked like a man who practices smoldering in the mirror. The venue was gorgeous. No children anywhere. Just curated elegance. The caption, "Family Forever." I stared at it for a long moment. That strange cocktail of anger and relief settled in my chest. I could miss something beautiful and still be okay. At 4 p.m., the florist texted me anyway. "Sorry to bother, but the tip envelope is short. Should I bill you?" I replied, "I'm not covering anything." 10 minutes later, Bianca texted, "You're cruel." 30 minutes after that, "The DJ needs the run of show. You were supposed to do it." I wrote back, "I'm not available." She responded instantly, "You think you're righteous, but you're just broke." I didn't dignify it. Letting silence answer is a skill I learned too late in life. She called. I let it ring. Then she left a voicemail, her voice cracked with rage. I saved it in a folder on my phone named Weather, because hearing storms makes me appreciate the calm. The diner. 2 days later, Dad asked to meet. He chose a diner we'd gone to for years. He arrived wearing a shirt too tight across the chest, as if trying to armor himself in youth he no longer possessed. He stirred sugar into his coffee like it was an act of violence. "You made your mother cry," he said. "She told me to stay away," I reminded him. "She didn't mean it. She typed it." He rubbed his face. "We've done so much for you, Angie." I reached into my bag and slid a small stack of printed bank statements across the table. Highlighted lines. 12 months of temporary payments. Deposits, phone bills, insurance, cake, gym memberships, subscriptions. Everything they swore they'd pay back. Everything they forgot I paid. "I'm not here to fight," I said calmly. "I'm here to set terms." He scanned the papers, expression tightening. "You keeping score?" he asked with a smirk. "I'm keeping boundaries." "Boundaries?" he scoffed. "You're being dramatic." "I'm an actress," I said. "I know drama. This isn't it. This is me saying no." He stood abruptly. "You always were ungrateful." I didn't flinch. "Dad, I covered your insurance for a year. I covered Bianca's wedding deposits. I covered Spotify so Mom could clean while listening to boy bands. I covered your phone plans. My kids wore shoes from the clearance aisle so you could have unlimited data." His face reddened. He left without paying his coffee. I paid. I can afford a $7 coffee because I no longer fund a $1,600 wedding balance. The new rhythm. For a week, the family group chat raged. Long messages, vague memes about forgiveness. Aunt Linda posted a wolf quote about loyalty. Someone screenshotted verses out of context. I muted it and went on with my life. I rehearsed. Jacob cooked more. The triplets invented a game called Don't Touch the Lava Blanket, which made no sense but kept them busy. My director pulled me aside during a run-through. "You're sharper this week," she said. "It's like you're breathing again." I was, for the first time in years. The triplets noticed. "Mommy, you're silly again," Gia giggled while jumping on the couch. I hadn't realized I'd stopped being silly. The shift. Mom sends photos of centerpieces now. No captions. Some days I send a heart back. Some days I don't. Dad texted me last week. "Garage keypad broken. When can you fix it?" I replied, "My rate is $95 an hour plus parts." He wrote back, "Never mind." He hired someone else, and I slept fine. Bianca hasn't apologized. She might never. She still posts beige quotes about grace and resilience. She still tags luxury brands in her stories like they're close friends. I mailed her a wedding gift, a plain set of everyday plates. No note, no card. They can eat on them or throw them out. Either way, it's theirs to deal with. The closing image. At home, things are not quiet. Triplets don't allow that. But quieter in me. Jacob and I made a new budget, one that doesn't include extended family emergencies as a hidden category. We started a jar labeled Camp. The kids decorated it with their initials and hearts drawn in washable markers that still somehow stained everything. Whenever we put 5s and 1s inside, they clap like they're witnessing a miracle. And maybe they are. Maybe the miracle is that I finally understood. I don't owe anyone my exhaustion just to call it love.